Hello, everyone, and welcome. As you can see, my lovely assistant has been kidnapped and replaced by this lampshade thing. So far, only my private students have had the chance to meet Foxtail, the dog in a cone. And today is Foxtail's first public appearance on YouTube. He didn't do so well in the private lesson. He kind of freaked out and ran away. But we'll see how he does today. Shelby is still with us. She is hidden. There she is in his place. Foxtail it is. Foxtail is an excellent cone dog. He just had a few basic minor surgeries done on him, so he is recovering in his cone, chilling in the beanbag that he stole. I see lots of people in the live chat. Hello. And I see people. Oh my God. Am I seriously starting the stream losing my voice? That's insane. I see lots of people already giving me the thumbs up on sound. Thank you very much. And let me bring up my lesson that we are actually doing today. We have a lot to talk about today. Today is, ta-da! We'll be coloring this with a brand new box of pencils that somebody kindly sent me. And welcome, more new people rolling in. Let's say a quick hello to everyone, and then we'll get into today's really cool product review. Hello, Linda. Hello, Bethany. Hello, Stacy, Tara, Margie, Bulma, Zia. Nightbot is with us today, finally. Last time Nightbot decided not to show up to the show. Christina, Tara, so-called colorist Della. Let's see, going back in time, we had Margie with us, and we also have a question in the live chat. If you are watching this live, subscribe to my channel so that you can join the live chat. It is a lot of fun. Right now in the live chat, we are talking about the brand of pencils that I am reviewing today, which is called Starjoy pencils. The link to those pencils on Amazon is in the video description, so you can click on that and go straight to that listing to read all about them or to get your own box of them. I'm sure that by the end of the show, you will have made up your decision on whether you want these or not, because that's what this whole show is about. And so far, with 18 votes, right at the start of the show, we already have more than 30% of you have worked with this brand. I am so surprised because I personally have never heard of this brand before. I was told about it by one of you guys, and I put it on my Amazon wish list. And somebody kindly sent them to me for a test drive. So here they are. Have you tried them yet? Well, that's what this lesson, this show is all about. Today, I will show you me trying them and talking about how I feel about them and all that. But before we jump into the actual product review, I have some things to talk to you guys about. I have an announcement to make. First of all, congratulations everyone who graduated my live version of Make Your Own Coloring Page course. This live course is now over, and some of my students are already published artists on Etsy. So huge congratulations to those of you who have completed the course and who already are selling your own coloring pages on Etsy. It is a humongous achievement. So applause, bravo, says Linda. Yes, and here are a few students who are already on Etsy. This is Michelle Wall's shop, and these are her actual coloring pages that she is selling. Michaela, hello, welcome. These are amazing. These are done 100% by my students from their own imagination. This is another shop. This is Stacy Bowling. This is her shop and her coloring page. Notice how everyone's style is 100% true to them. In my course, I don't just teach you how to copy what I'm drawing. Every single one of my students created their own characters in their own style. Hello, Michelle. Yet another one. This is Michaela's shop. Michaela is with us in the chat, and these are her illustrations. She is very much into tribal designs and animals. So even though the live version of this course is over, it is now available for everyone on Udemy. And of course, the links to everything that you guys need are in the video description as always. So links to the course and also to all of the shops that I showed you guys just now are in the video description. So after the show, swing by those Etsy shops and purchase a coloring page. It's very difficult to get started on Etsy. It's very difficult to squeeze into the whole coloring page scene. And these artists are already making sales. So give them some encouragement, buy some of their coloring pages, and post their colorings online so that more people get to know them as artists. All the links to everything are in the video description. Now, the page that we're working on today, this page, in fact, there it is the page that I demonstrate in the course. I actually go through the steps of my very first thought process, my ideas and everything. And then the entire course is dedicated to me showing you how I create this page from scratch. And that's the page we're working on today. That page is up in my Etsy shop. The link to that is, of course, in the video description. Very easy. And there's a special lilac version of this. That's the version I'm actually coloring today on the show. And that version is already up as a free gift for all of my patrons and all of my YouTube channel members. So if you're a patron or a YouTube channel member, just go grab this page and print it out in lilac. So that is enough talking and congratulation and promotion. Let's do some coloring. I will be working on pink paper. I bought this really cool paper on Amazon. It is 65 pounds, 8.5 by 11 inches. You know what that means? That means I can stick it right into my printer and stop doing this whole cutting out of the unusual papers thing. This actually fits my printer, so it's a really cool deal, and it's a huge stack of them, and it comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tones of pink, which is really cool. It's a little bit on the heavier side of cardstock, but my printer has no problem with processing it and printing it. Of course, the link to this exact paper is also in the video description, so you can just click on that. And if you want to try it out, just go to Amazon and grab your own pack of that paper. I will be working on the lightest possible shade of pink on this one because we're test driving a new pencil brand. So we want to see all the colors on paper that's as close to white as possible. Someone says, I hate cutting my Strathmore. Me too. I really love Strathmore paper, but it doesn't come in 8.5 by 11. Or if it does, I never see it on Amazon. I only get the 9 by 12 version. And that doesn't fit my printer. I have to cut it. So I was very happy to find this paper in the size that actually fits my printer. So Star Joy pencils. This is the box that one of you sent me for review. Inside of it, you will find a giant blank fill in your own colors color chart. Some of you like them. I personally don't use them. And then we have 3 decks of different colors here. The first thing that struck me is that they're not organized in any way by shade or tone. There's a little bit of order here, like the greens seem to be all more or less together, and like the pinks seem to be kind of more or less together on 2 different tiers, but it does look kind of random. And Foxdale, oh my God, I'm gonna switch my screen, you guys, you have to see this. I don't know if you can see or hear it, but he's dreaming. Can you hear that? He's snoring and he's making like little bubble noises like he's underwater. He's like, boop, boop, boop. Do you see it? Oh my God. He's totally dreaming. Oh my God. He has no idea how to run a show. Oh man, he is adorable. Adorable pup. Oh yes, you guys can see and hear him. So cute. Oh my God, Foxtail. And there he goes, stealing the show. All right, back to our pencils. And of course, the link to the actual pencil set on Foxtail on Amazon is in the video description. Aw, sweet pup. He is such a loud dreamer. So because I see him twitching, so cute. Because we're working on toned paper, I am going to do a little bit of priming with my white charcoal. Those of you who have been on the show for any length of time, if you have seen any of my videos, you guys know that if I'm using paper that's not white, I prime all the areas that I want to be the lightest with white charcoal. It can be a white pencil. However, the first thing that I noticed about Starjoy pencils is that they don't actually have a white pencil in the box. That's highly unusual these days. Modern pencils, I haven't come across a brand that doesn't feature a straight white pencil in it. So I thought it was very curious. There is a pencil that's actually called almost white or nearly white or not quite white or something like that. But there isn't actually a white pencil. If there was a white pencil in this box, then I would do this priming with whatever the pencil box features so that we can actually see how it behaves on paper. But alas, this one didn't come with it. Oh my God! Thank you so much, Foxtail. You got a super chat, buddy. Thank you so much for that very generous super chat. And thank you, patrons. If you are a patron of mine, you are one of the people who make all of these shows possible. There are lots of Patreon tiers that I offer. The link to my Patreon is on the screen and, of course, in the video description. So if you want to check those out, just follow the link. But after the show, don't do it now. We have lots to talk about. Not Quite White. That's the name of the pencil. That's somebody who actually knows the brand, Not Quite White. And I will be using it later on in the show. I am going to speed through this white charcoal part because it's not part of what we're reviewing. But I do want to show you where I'm placing the white just so that you can possibly color along with me when you rewatch this. But here we're jumping into actual pencils, and I'm going to pause for a second and put one of you or several of you on pencil calling out duty. Duty. I did not make pencil name tags for these because honestly, I didn't expect so many of you to know the brand. I figured nobody will ever use these pencils. It's just going to be a curiosity stream. So I didn't make individual name tags for these, but I do show every single pencil with the name tag. So those of you, I cheated and pulled out the SWOT chart. That is fine. So Margie, I'm putting you on pencil calling out duty. I will show every single pencil. However, it will only be on the screen for a few seconds. So please keep an eye on those colors for me because I'm sure new people will be jumping into the stream and asking what color we're working with. So this is Sea Fog and it is a light lilac. I'm going to try calling them out myself, but I know myself. I know how I run the show. And I very often talk over the part where the pencil name appears on the screen, so I often skip it. Nightbot, it's so good to have you on the show again. Yes, please do remember to subscribe to the channel. It's the only way that you can chat with us in a live stream. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for you to be let into the chat, but you will be let in. I think it's 60 seconds. Sea Fog 45 BV. Awesome. Thank you so much, Margie. You are officially our pencil name color outer. And I'm guessing that Margie is one of the people who clicked yes in our questionnaire that's in the live chat right now. Have you ever used Starjoy pencils? And so far, 33% of you have. Again, I'm super, super, super surprised. So, Margie, you have. How do you feel about these pencils? I'd like to hear your guys' opinions. And the other 33% of you, please let us know in the live chat what your experience with this brand is. For me, obviously, I'll be talking about it throughout the whole show. But when I heard about the brand, my first thought was they're probably not going to be very impressive. The first thing that jumped out at me was the name. Starjoy seemed to me to be a little childish, almost like on the tacky side, not to offend anyone. But my first impression was like it's probably a really cheap Chinese knockoff because they're also extremely affordable. These pencils, this is a box of 120 pencils and it's $25 on Amazon. I have not really seen cheaper brands than that. However, I have worked with highly affordable brands like that I was very impressed with. So I gave them a shot. I also had one of my students speak very highly about this brand. This is someone whose opinion I trust, so I figured, okay, I'll give it a shot. Starjoy, wasn't really impressed with the name. Thought it was kind of cheesy, but you know, the name. Don't judge the book by its cover. Don't judge the pencil brand by the cover, by the box. So then I got them and I opened them and I saw that they're not really that well organized. They seem kind of mismatched, but there are a lot of them and they do look very vibrant. That I was impressed with. I like the professional way that the color chart is put together. That was also very nice. Even though I'm not a fan of color charts myself, I do recognize that this is a very nice color chart. It's done on very thick, very professional paper. And it's a useful tool for a lot of you. So that I did like. However, I only swatched them on the given chart. It seemed nicer than Crayola. Okay, yes, definitely the paper that they provided for the chart is very, very friendly. And I think that they apply to that paper nicely. I did not complete that paper myself, but I did a little scratch test on it and that worked out well. Working on this cardstock paper, I enjoyed the experience quite a bit with these pencils, but it took me some time to get into it. This very first pencil, this light lilac, which somebody kindly gave us a name for, this Sea Fog 45 Bravo Victor. The very first pencil, I was actually kind of disappointed in, believe it or not. It looks really nice on the screen right now. It is indeed a very light, very gentle lilac, but I wasn't impressed with the full potential of this pencil. Those of you who have taken any courses with me at all, but especially those of you who have taken my color theory course, you know exactly what I mean when I talk about the full potential of the pencil. I expected the full potential with many layers and like decent pressure to look like the actual body of the pencil. And it doesn't. This is as dark as it gets. I am not applying it very lightly. I'm not applying it thinly. This is literally as bright as this pencil gets. And honestly, that's not what's advertised. So it feels nice on paper. It's not as extraordinary as Prismacolor or Black Widow. But I wasn't so disappointed in this pencil that I stopped. I continued and it gets better. It does get better. I decided moving forward with this brand to switch out my light colors and my dark colors. Somebody before the show was asking me about the pastel colors in this set. And the very first hand of a heart, honest to God opinion for the pastel colors is not all that impressive. However, it's just the first out of 120 pencils. I'm not going to use all 120, but I will use quite a bit here just to test out how the lighter pencils work in contrast with the darker pencils. Also, how they layer and how they blend, because those are all very important aspects in coloring for me. I never tried them either. So a so-called colorist Della says I have them, but I haven't actually tried them. Okay, so perhaps after the show you will give them a shot. And you guys are more than welcome to follow along with me and copy my pencil choices and my pencil actual step-by-step routine and create the same exact coloring with the same exact coloring page by all means. It's so light, but expected for the cost. Yeah, right? So at this level, the first layer, I'm thinking, okay, so this is the kind of pencil brand that it looks like they're all colorful and really, really strong, intense colors inside, but as soon as you apply it to the paper, they're kind of watered down. But my opinion does change. If you just are joining the show, if you just tuned in, don't get turned off this brand because it does turn around rather quickly and it's happening right now. My second pencil is this deep purple. It's very reminiscent of a deep purple in the Prismacolor set, and this is a 52 Razelberry, whatever that is. Never heard of a Razelberry. It doesn't sound very appetizing. But immediately, I am impressed with this color. The dark color, the dark purple, is laying down on paper very nicely. Immediately it grabs. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I'm going to go over the parts that are already really dark in my illustration, and I'm going to start applying some shading technique around the eyes over the original light layer of purple. Someone you just joined. Hello, Lisa. Is it possible to have the translation in French on the parameters? Is it yes, it is. It's possible, but not while I'm streaming live, unfortunately. Once the stream is over, and it's going to take YouTube, I think, an hour or two to process it, and then you watch the rerun, you can turn on the subtitles in French on this or in any language of your choosing. Unfortunately, I don't think it works in real time. YouTube needs to chew on what I'm saying and then translate it. Sorry for the misunderstanding. I don't own either of the sets. Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. My misunderstanding. You don't own either of the sets. Razelberry 52 Victor Romeo. Thank you so much, Margie, our designated color out. I was just going to say it looks like the Prismacolor purple, right? It looks exactly like the Prismacolor deep purple, that pencil that I really love and use all the time. It even feels that way on paper. It feels very much like the Prismacolor deep purple. And immediately, you guys know, those of you who know me, that's literally my favorite pencil in the entire Prismacolor 150 pencil set. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised to find a matching pencil in this set. So moving forward with this shading, I was also very pleasantly surprised to see that it's layering nicely. So even though I wasn't crazy impressed with my very pale lilac pencil, I expected it to be a stronger color, that I have more maneuverability with. Wasn't really impressed with that, but it did create a very beautiful first layer of this light lilac, and now the second layer of deep purple is applying very nicely. Oh, YouTube. Yes, unfortunately, YouTube is not able to do the translations live, but I do hope that you come back and rewatch this later today or tomorrow, and then you can set your settings on those subtitles, and I will make sure that that option is turned on my end. But thank you kindly for coming anyway and putting up with me without the subtitles. Oh, there he goes. We're gonna lose him. Okay, we lost my lovely substitute assistant. I will put my real assistant back in the chair. I'll be right back. Shelby, come here, honey. Shelby, come here. Shelby, come here. Let's do a show. Come on, honey. Come on. Come on, good girl. Oh, there's a good girl. Here's the girl. All right, I'm back. My real lovely assistant is back in her place, so everything's back to normal. Starjoy is the same as Prismacolor, yes or no? I would say no. I would say that, spoiler alert, for those who don't want to watch to the end of the show, my ultimate review of this brand is that they are indeed very good pencils, but I wouldn't call them professional. That's my bottom line review of them. If I had to choose between Prismacolor and these pencils, I would 100% choose Prismacolor, even though they're like 3 or 4 times more expensive. Let's see, how many more times are they more expensive? This is 120 pencils for $25. Prismacolor is 150 pencils for like 130 or 140. So basically $1 a pencil. So you're welcome. I would absolutely pay the extra money for Prismacolor for professional work. If you are an artist who does commission work, as I do, I would not use this brand for that. It's a little bit tricky to work with. There are some limitations with layers, as you will see towards the end of the show, and the fact that the lighter pencils are not quite as strong as their equivalents in the Prismacolor set are all things that would be setbacks for people who do art professionally. However, for a hobby, for just coloring, for pleasure, for coloring, even for completing art courses and coloring courses, you can absolutely use this brand and create the same effects as I teach in my art courses. But nice. So definitely, yeah, if you're a hobbyist, if you color for stress relief, if you color to learn coloring, and you're looking for an affordable brand, I do recommend this. Yes. I have a question for fur. Okay. Do you start doing texture after the light? Ooh, that's a good question. And that makes me think I should do more tutorials on fur and maybe even a course on fur. We haven't done that yet. We haven't done a coloring course on fur. That sounds like something we should do. The question is, do you do texture first or light first? What order is all of that happening in? That depends on the type of coloring you're doing, the type of creature you're coloring, the brand of pencils you're using, and the overall look that you're going for. So it is very complicated and varies from situation to situation. In this case, I am coloring very much in a fantasy style. So, and on toned paper. So if you're doing toned paper, I would say put your light sources in first with your white charcoal and already weaving in the texture of the fur every step on the way. There is a tutorial that I did about a year ago, I think, on YouTube on dog fur. So you can search for that, or if somebody can post it in the comments below after the show or something like that. But if you just search my YouTube channel videos for dog fur or how to color dog fur, it's a short video. I think it's about 10 minutes long. And I'm coloring a realistic dog on tan-toned paper. I go a little bit into those decisions in that video, and we start with a white charcoal primer. It is an excellent question, and the answer is it's complicated. It's complicated, but my general rule for any kind of coloring is if you are introducing a light source, somebody please catch the name of this pencil that's coming up now. If you are introducing a light source and you do have light variation, then I would start every single kind of coloring by mapping out where your lightest areas are and where your shadows will be. Yes, that would be awesome. The course on for Starjoy, oil or wax? Good question. I don't actually know. Let me check the box. And we got a name for that pencil, Mango 120. All right, so this is the box. And I'm going to check on the back if it says. It does not say. It says from beginners to advanced artists, a Starjoy Gold. Oh, this isn't just Starjoy, it's Starjoy Gold. So it's the gold edition. It's their full box. They're probably smaller boxes as well. Starjoy Gold has something to offer to everyone. Developed in collaboration with the YouTube artist Lori Green, Color My World. I know Lori Green, Color My World. That is awesome. The set is designed for artist success. So, I'm sure that every single thing that I say about these pencils that is not 100% these are amazing is going to find its way back to Color My World's channel. So let's face the elephant in the room. On this channel, I do honest reviews of everything, regardless of who the creator is, regardless of whether I know this person or if I collaborate with this person or if I'm sponsored by this person. My reviews are 100% honest. And sometimes I have things to say about products that aren't so nice or so pretty. And that's the value of my product reviews. I want you guys to watch my shows and to know that you can trust my judgment, that I'm not ever going to push any brand on you just because it's created by my friend or by someone that I know. For instance, when I did all of my Black Widows reviews, Albert Jones is a close personal friend of mine. However, when I do reviews of his pencils, sometimes I have things to say about them that aren't so pretty, even though it's one of my favorite brands. So again, if you are Lori Green or somebody who follows her and you're watching this, this isn't a personal review of the artist who helped create this amazing, beautiful box of pencils, but it is a review of the actual product. And the colors themselves are wonderful. I don't know how much work she actually put in on creating these pencils, if she just collaborated with the makers on the color selection or something like that. But having worked with Albert Jones from Black Widows previously, I know a lot about the process of making pencils, of manufacturing pencils, and a lot of it is out of our hands as artists. A lot of it depends on the chemistry. A lot of it depends on the actual factory. So you can't hold one person 100% responsible. Oh, missed that one, sorry. For every single thing. Let me play that back. Let's actually rewind it and see when the pencil comes back on the screen. Oh no, how far back is it? I think it was something like a burgundy. Okay, it is 61I or 61-1 red burgundy. Red burgundy, and that's the kind of color that we're looking for. If you're working with a different brand of pencils, you guys are always welcome to color along with me and use any other kind of a brand. You don't have to use the same brand. So if you're working with Prismacolors or Black Widows or whatever, the kind of a pencil that I'm looking for in this layer is a dark burgundy. Missed that one. Let's see. I love Black Widows. Yes, Black Widows are wonderful. I was a die-hard Black Widow fan for like 2 years in a row. I have kind of grew out of using them on everything these days because I think I just used them too much on everything. I switched back to doing most of my lessons in Prismacolor and most of my own personal coloring in Prismacolor over Black Widows. But what I do love about Black Widows is the feel of them on paper. Nothing compares with that. That waxy, beautiful layering that they offer is still amazing, amazing, amazing. And of course, all the funky names. That's always a plus. But anyway, we were trying to find out if these are oil or wax. And so far, I don't see anything here in the description that says if they are or if they are not. So if anyone knows if Starjoy are oil or wax, please let me know. From the way that they behave on paper, it's tough to say. It could be either. It could be either. They are not as obviously oil-based as some of the oil-based pencils that I've done on this show. But they could be. They could be. I will wait for your guys' feedback in the description in the live chat. It says oil binder, but they seem to have a wax bloom. Yeah, oil binder is used pretty much in all pencils because you have to have that binder to combine the pigment with the actual lead. So it's tricky. I honestly don't know. So some things that I like about these, let me put the pencil back. Oh, it was J, Red Wine 61J. The things that I like are the vast selection of colors. They're wonderful. They seem to be described in an accurate manner, meaning that some brands give pencil names that aren't really descriptive. For instance, sometimes I come across gray pencils that are really light, that are like 10% or 20% gray, and the name of the pencil is actually dark gray. So stuff like that is inexcusable. That's just straight up wrong. There's nothing cute about it. And then there are brands that have funky names and fun names, like Black Widow pencils do, and you have things like Dragon's Breath or fresh coconuts or something like that. It's insane. And those are just cute and funky. They clearly don't describe the color. They're just there for us to giggle at. And then there's Prismacolor. That's my absolute 100% favorite brand right now. Okay, catch this one. Catch this one. And their names tend to be more or less accurate, but sometimes there's a discrepancy there. And so far, Prismacolor has been more or less good with pencil names, and so is this brand. This Starjoy brand seems to be describing the colors very nicely. The pencil that I'm using right now is a light blue pencil. Okay. Oh, yeah, thank you for that. I use Google Translation. My English is not perfect. Starjoy, are they premium? Yes or no, or else recommend them. Would I recommend them? Are they premium? Would I recommend them? I would absolutely recommend them if you are a colorist, if you are a hobbyist. You know, if you color for pleasure, if you color for learning purposes, then I would absolutely recommend these pencils because they are a beautiful collection of colors for a very affordable price. From my experience on this coloring, it also seems like each pencil will last a very long time. I have done some reviews on this show where by the end of the coloring, some of the pencils are yay tall. And I'm like, really? I only did one coloring and I'm already running low on supplies. Not here. These pencils, sharpening them and coloring them, they barely shrunk at all. It seems like this will last for a long time. So if you color a lot, if you like to use all sorts of different colors, then this pencil box is absolutely worth buying. Will I be doing an Amazon review of this box? Probably not. I probably will not write a review saying this is a super professional brand. If you are an artist, you can't live without it, because it's simply not true. I don't think that that's the case. If you are a professional artist and if you do this for a living and you have customers who rely on your craft, I would invest in much more valuable and trusted names like Prismacolor. Absolutely. Yeah. Himalayan pink, and that was indeed a beautiful color. As I'm starting to add more and more layers here, I'm starting to enjoy this brand a lot more. However, when I added that light blue, I had the same experience as I did with the lilac. It seemed like there wasn't enough oomph there. So again, not to blame the artist, Color My World, artist from YouTube who worked on this box of pencils, because the colors are beautiful, they're correctly named, but the actual chemistry of the pencils on the lighter colors, I wouldn't call that a very high-end quality. The stronger colors, yes, the color that I'm adding right now, whatever this dark, thank you Margie, Indigo 109cc, is a very strong color, very good color. Now, I didn't do any brand mixing on this coloring. A lot of times when I personally color, I mix everything with Black Widows or with Prismacolor. Not on this one because it's a product review. I want to review only Starjoy pencils in this show, so I didn't do any mixing. However, I will continue working with this brand. That's another indication that I actually like the product. If I didn't like it, I would just put it away on the shelf or give it to a neighbor or something, give it to the neighbor kids or give it to a local school or something, but I wouldn't continue working with them. I plan to continue working with this. I am not disappointed. I'm not impressed. I wouldn't say that I'm like overjoyed, impressed. This totally changed my life. It's not going to replace my big box of Prismacolor pencils, but there are still a lot of colors in this box that I didn't get to try because there are 120 and I don't need to use 120 on a single coloring. But there are a lot of blues that I didn't get to try out. There are a lot of browns that I didn't get to try out, all colors that I really like in my everyday coloring. I will be doing a live stream next week. We'll be doing a Valentine's Day live stream, probably same time, same place. And it will be with a lot of pink. Of course, now I have a buttload of pink paper, so I'm going to have to put it to good use. We'll be doing it on pink. I haven't decided yet which brand of pencils I will use for that. Probably, since it's not going to be a review stream, if it's just going to be for fun and chat, I'll probably just be mixing and matching brands. So we'll see if I can bring in some of the pinks from this Starch Away set to mix with my Prismacolors. All right, yellow's looking good. I wasn't so impressed with the lilac and the light blue, but all the yellows that I used on this coloring, and I used a lot of yellows here because my whole color combo here is more or less purple and orange and yellow. So lots of yellow here because I want to bring out the brightness of my purple. Again, color series students, you guys know that this isn't just my favorite color combo, but you know why it's my favorite color combo and why it works. So moving on to some pinks, we'll work on the flower now. And that pink is beautiful. All the yellows and all the pinks that I used on this coloring were very impressive. So every box of pencils has, hit or miss pencils, and except for Prismacolor. Prismacolor kind of doesn't. I'm a little bit biased at this point, but and not at all. Like, I'm not sponsored by Prismacolor or anything. I just really, really love the brand, and it served me for years. It's just, it's just that I've been working with Prismacolor since probably 2017. So like 6 years I've been working with this brand. And since then I've tried maybe 30 or 40 different brands of pencils, and some of them come and go, some of them come back on this show, but most of them don't. The only brands that stuck around are Black Widow pencils, Castle Arts. Even though I have my complaints about Castle Arts, they do keep coming back for a reason. Faber-Castell keeps climbing up there in the list of desirable pencils, but Prismacolor just all the time. It never fails me. Every time that I have any doubts about colors or brands, I end up back with Prismacolor, and right now it's 100% what I work with when I work for clients, when I do commission art, or anything else that I do for sale. The muted tones, there's supposed to be a purple, I think, used for undertones. Oh, interesting. And that's nice. I mean, obviously, again, it's not as clear cut as, it's supposed to be something. I like when certain pencil brands give you a little bit of an instructional on how to use them. Castle Arts does that. Castle Art has a whole instruction manual on how to work from lighter colors to darker ones. And indeed, that's true for Castle. They do not layer well with light colors over dark ones like Prismacolors do. With Castle, you have to go dark over light. Yeah, Faber-Castell is also very good, really good. I love Faber-Castell. With this brand, there's nothing special about the different colors. It's not like they're not scientifically engineered to be, this section is for undertones, this section is for shadows, this section is for highlights. They seem to be all made out of the same stuff. They seem to all have the same consistency. So if a certain color is recommended for a light undertone, it should probably be advertised as such, meaning the whole wooden sheath that the pencil is in shouldn't scream bright purple. It should be that pale lavender. there's a discrepancy there, you know. So some of the pencils that you pick from this box look exactly like their wooden cover on paper. Like this pink that I'm using right now, there's no discrepancy there. It's a hot pink, and hot pink is what you get on paper. But the lavender, hey, Art of the Soul Multiverses, welcome to the show. We are doing a review of Starjoy pencils. If you guys are just rolling into the live stream, please just jump in and have fun. But do, after the show is over, do skip back to the beginning, because there's a lot of explanation about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, where I got it. And there is a big, huge shout out to my star students who are already selling their art on Etsy. I am so, so very proud of my Make Your Own Coloring Page students who are just going to be so successful. It's amazing. Soon you guys will be coloring their pages. The gal who made them with the company said to learn about the pencils, you need to watch her YouTube to learn about them. That is very interesting. That is very interesting and certainly very helpful. My argument for that would be, if your box of colored pencils need an instructional on YouTube for you to use them, I'm not gonna call that professional. I'm sorry. I don't know how many subscribers I just lost. But that's my professional opinion. Like, a Prismacolor doesn't need a YouTube tutorial on how to use them. You get them and you can use them. Black Widow pencils don't need a YouTube tutorial on how to use them. Certainly YouTube tutorials are useful, and YouTube reviews are useful, and color alongs are useful. But if you can't use a box of pencils without following somebody's instructions, then that's either the creators are overthinking their product and they're making it more complicated than it needs to be, or it's simply not a very high-end professional product and they need to explain how to use them because certain things didn't come out the way that they did. That would be my professional assessment of it. And judging by the price of this box, I would say it's the second option. I would say that these are budget pencils, which, again, there's nothing wrong with them, but for the price that they offered, and, you know, they're kind of basic box cover that looks like a million other box covers that are available on Amazon, and the Starjoy name that seems a little bit like it was just pulled out of a hat. All these things combined, plus the lack of organization inside the box, the complete lack of a white pencil, all of that tells me that it's not a high-end brand. And having test driven them and having compared them on paper, their performance, compared it to the other brands that I've worked with over the years that are professional, like Prismacolor, that supports my assessment even further. It's like great for her that she made these. Again, this isn't a failed product. This isn't a crappy product. This is a very good product. But is it high-end and professional? No, it's not. It's exactly what it says it is. It's a budget Chinese brand. Or, you know, not to offend anyone, maybe it was made in Taiwan, maybe it was made in China, maybe it was made in India, I don't know, but it was definitely outsourced. It's not a mom and pop's shop that personally produces these pencils in their own, you know, family-owned business or anything like that. This is mass-produced. This probably wasn't overseen by the creator, I don't think. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. Please feel free to share the links to those YouTube videos with me, and I'll be the first to admit it if I am wrong. But I'm just telling you what my assessment of this is, having looked at the whole presentation, having seen it on Amazon, having read the reviews, having had years and years of experience working with colored pencils, and now having the experience of actually test driving them on paper. Again, adequate, amazing for just casual coloring, but I personally, as a professional published artist, would never deliver a final product to a client with these pencils, bottom line. But they come out great on camera, so they're great for color alongs, great for, again, casual kind of a hobby coloring. These pinks and magentas are layering absolutely beautifully. That flower is coming out amazing. Oh, we have a new pencil color. Somebody please catch that. The transparency is refreshing. Thank you. It does get me in trouble, though. I'm sure I've offended more than one person just now, and I'm okay with that. I am here to give you guys honest reviews, and I may be wrong. I'm just telling you what works for me and what my personal experience was. Again, I'm not telling you don't buy these pencils because they're not professional. In fact, I am telling you go buy these pencils. I think they're great because I will keep working with mine. And I think a lot of colorists out there, I think for them it's actually perfect because they're not professional artists. They don't sell their work. They just want to practice a hobby that's affordable, that's relaxing, that's a stress relief, that's enjoyable. And if that's you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this brand. It's perfectly fine for those purposes. As you can see, the colors are coming out very vibrant, very beautiful. The blending on this is actually quite good. I am impressed with that. But as you heard me in my monologue earlier, it did not quite check off enough boxes on my list of professional pencils for me to go and give this an Amazon review with my name on it. Because my opinion matters, and my opinion has a reputation. And I can't put my name on this saying this is professional, but I will absolutely recommend it to hobbyists. I love Lisa's candor. Thank you guys. I'm so glad, and I see that so far no one's given me the thumbs down on this. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. My top two pencils are Prisma and Derwent Polys. Yes, those are mine as well. Yeah, absolutely. Prisma, well, I have four. Prisma, Derwent, Faber-Castell, and Black Widow. All right, let's see. It does look it does, right? And that's the main reason why I will absolutely recommend this casually to colorists because the results speak for themselves. This coloring, I may not like the feel of these pencils on paper as much as I love, thank you, as much as I love Prismacolor, but it's also a personal feedback. Some of you genuinely don't like Prismacolor the way that I do, or in any way at all. Some people just don't like Prismacolor and the way they feel on paper. Some of you out there hate Black Widow pencils. It's hard to imagine. I've been preaching how wonderful Black Widow pencils are for years, but I hear still every now and then that some people just hate them, hate the waxiness of them, hate the way they blend, just everything about them. It's all very personal. So always when you read these reviews, when you watch these reviews, understand that the person reviewing them has their own set of likes and dislikes and habits. We are all creatures of habit. I am so used to Prismacolor pencils that it took me a while to get into this brand because they were expectations that I was hoping these would meet, and they just weren't for the longest time. All right, let's see. Oh my God, I'm like 2 colors behind. The last one was I see we have a new designated color outer. This is the last one was 15 YO Cantaloupe, and this is something else. This is something pink. The pinks, once again, are absolutely beautiful on this pencil set. I have no complaints about the pink pencils here whatsoever. Swing by my Etsy shop, says Nightbot. And why does Nightbot say that? And we have a new color. Thank you. This color is 87S Candy with a question mark. Swing by my Etsy shop. There is a sale happening in my Etsy shop as we speak. Yesterday, I realized that Valentine's Day is almost upon us, and I frantically set up a sale on Etsy, and it is 30% off everything that I offer in the store. And I offer a lot of things in the store. I have coloring pages, I have all of my coloring books there, I have my original art, and I recently started adding some art prints. There aren't a lot of them, but I'm starting to work on that. There are a lot of coloring pages and books though. So if you don't own any of my stuff yet, or if you haven't been to the shop lately and you haven't seen the latest post, swing by the Etsy shop and see what you can get. The sale will run for a week. So Tuesday to Tuesday, Wednesday to Wednesday, I think. I started yesterday, it will be over next week. Sorry, I don't have the set to look them up. That's why the question mark. I don't have the set to look them up. As you're watching a rerun of this, you guys can, of course, pause and play back and look at the exact colors. But this is technically not a color along. It can obviously be used as a color along. I always like to call out my colors so that you guys have that option. If you want to pick the same colors and apply them in the same order, you are more than welcome to. So ultimately, this is what the page came out to look like. And one of the things that you will notice on the actual live cam view on the bottom left corner is how shiny it is. And that's one of the things that I don't like about this brand. And that's actually the reason, that the main reason, you know, the light colors not being up to snuff aside, the main reason is this final presentation, this kind of a glossy sheen. If you can see it, yeah, if I turn it like that, it's more obvious. This kind of a glossy sheen, it's not bad. It's very difficult for photography. It makes it very challenging to take a nice photo. But it's also, it just doesn't come across as very professional. So again, I wouldn't send that to a client if I had a commission, the high-end portrait that I had to do, or a pet portrait, and I sent it in looking all shiny like that, it would diminish my reputation as an artist. So I just would never do that. Compare this to, this is a Prismacolor coloring that I did. There's a little bit of a sheen on the page, but it's all over. It's like it's on the page itself as well as on the coloring. So this is Prismacolor pencils, and this is this Starjoy pencil. You can see also that with the Prismacolor pencil, actually, let me pause this and let me put myself on a bigger screen for that so that you guys can see. Okay, so Starjoy, let me demonstrate that little sheen effect. You can see how shiny the whole paper is. And in fact, it's difficult for me to show it to you in its full glory because the light that I have shining on it is muting all the colors. In reality, it's like from a distance, maybe it will be better. It's actually really vivid. The colors are so bright and it looks really attractive in real life. But if I try to bring it up to a camera, you can see that it gets all washed out and it's all kind of glossy. Now, this isn't a vibrant coloring. This is a very in very muted tones. This is meant to be very muted, and it's done on much darker paper. This is something that I'm doing with my patrons this month, by the way. So if you are a patron, check out the Coloring Club tier. This is what I'm teaching, how to color on really dark paper this month. And this is done in Prismacolor pencil. You can see that there's very little shine on the page. There's a little bit, but not a lot at all. This is a lot more manageable, and these colors are true to their nature. This is as vibrant or as muted as they are. So the translation there is very realistic. So for me, as someone who does this for a living, it's very important to be able to take professional photos of my art so that the photo actually represents the reality. And it's important for me to deliver it to a client in such a way that when they open that folder, when they see that original work of art, they go, wow, this is amazing. So that they can even run their hands over it. Nothing smudges, nothing happens. This Starjoy final presentation to me is a little bit on the childish side. It's a little bit on like, school kids won't mind, hobbyists won't mind, I won't even mind for something like this, just for fun, just to practice with different colors, to do something for the sake of enjoyment. but nothing beyond that. This is the color 21Y, not quite white. Case in point, not quite white. Interesting name, interesting to have it there. But look at the actual wooden pencil. It's not quite white. It's straight up yellow. That's a light yellow pencil, maybe a bright cream. It has nothing to do with not quite white. So no, not quite white in the same way that like green is not quite white. So not very good labeling on some of them. I wasn't impressed with the not quite white pencil because it's just a regular cream. There was no need to go that fancy with the name. It's just a basic cream. And it doesn't act as a white pencil. It doesn't actually put any light pigment on the paper. I am unable to add lighter highlights with the light colors in this box. For me, that's a big selling point. The way that I draw, the way that I color, I like to have the option to add those light highlights at the end, which is something that Prismacolor does. These pencils do not, it's cream. It's absolutely cream. It's a cream pencil. It's not quite white. Like this pencil on the screen right now is not quite white. They're all not quite white. 120 GS green gray. Now green gray on the other hand is very well labeled. It is indeed green gray and it's doing a beautiful job. So do notice, like, I don't just talk crap about stuff. I also praise the things that are worth praising. This is worth praising. I would say from my experience that all the dark colors are absolutely beautiful, borderline professional. The lighter colors, not so much. Not so much at all. Udemy link. There is, and actually there's a better link for you guys. I am going to put up a link in the live chat that you can actually click on. This is my newly improved and advanced website. If you're in the live chat, you can actually click on that link. If you're watching a rerun, you're going to have to copy it. I'm going to pause again for a second. On my website, there are now sections that are very easy to follow that have links to absolutely everything. So if you're looking for my courses on Udemy, that's on my website. If you're looking for my courses on Skillshare, that's on my website. If you're looking for my Etsy shop, it's there. A whole list of all of my published books, the ways to reach me, and everything like that. Additionally, on the very first opening welcome page of my website, the very first thing that you will now see is this month's discount for an Etsy course of my choosing. The course that I showed you guys in the very beginning of the show, Make Your Own Coloring Page, is the course of my choice for February. So this month, if you want to take that course for only $12.99, there is an actual direct link to that limited time, limited offer price on my website. So if you guys saw at the beginning of the show and you saw that my students are actually creating their own coloring pages and publishing them and selling them and making that extra passive income with coloring pages, if you want to be that $200 course is available for only $12.99 this whole month. So don't miss out on opportunities like that. They're golden. So on my website, the very first thing you'll see is that discount code for those of you who make it to the website. Next month in March, it will be a new course. I don't know which one yet. It will be a surprise. And every month it's going to be a new course. I have 11 or 12 courses that are floating around out there. So lots to choose from. So make sure to always swing by the website and see what's new and exciting. And if there are any kinds of discounts or stuff like that. This one is 120 GS green gray. That was the dark one. What's this light one that we're doing right now? I missed that one. That is something like I would call this color a jade green. So in the Prismacolor set, it would be a jade green. But again, light color, not so impressive. Look at what I'm holding in my hand. Look at that beautiful jade green color on the actual wood. And now look at how it's laying down on paper. So call it what you will. You may say that, oh, we designed them these ways. These are the undercolors that you use for priming. Then they shouldn't look so bright, though, should they? What I think happened is their light colors just didn't perform as well as they should have. And now this coloring box requires a YouTube tutorial to explain how to use them. I don't really buy that, guys. I don't buy that at all. The full potential of the pencil should be the full potential of the pencil. Just because a color is light doesn't mean that it gets to be crappy. There are lots of light colored pencils in the Prismacolor set. Beautiful, beautiful Prismacolor pencils. Like my favorite Prismacolor pencils are all 10% or 20% of something. Lots of very pale colors, but they're very strong pencils. There's a difference, strong color or strong pencil. These, there aren't strong pencils. The dark colors are 100%. The light colors, not so much. Yeah, kind of disappointing, I think. Yeah, me as well, me as well. So it's very specific. Like there isn't really anything in the middle. There's just like really strong dark ones and kind of feeble light ones. Fortunately, there are more dark ones in the box, so you can still put them to good use. So, knowing all this, knowing my disappointment in the lighter tones in this box, why am I still recommending it to the casual colorist? Well, because there is so much to choose from, and mainly the price. For $25, this is wonderful. I expected less from 25. Let me put it that way. From $25 for a 120 pencil box, I expected much lower quality than what I got. So for the price that they are absolutely wonderful. Pencil number name, it didn't show on this pencil. That's because I've used it before. That is something that I tend to do if I'm just bringing in a pencil that I've already used a million times. I don't show it. Specifically, it was the dark purple that we all liked. So I'm going to keep bringing it back for my shadows, and some of the yellows I will start bringing back as well. I probably won't show them again. So the way that I work, as some of you might have picked up on that already, the way that I work with colored pencils is, especially when I do a test drive like this for the first time, I have a little piece of scrap paper, and when I decide on the color that I want on my page, I take my little piece of scrap paper and I see if it does indeed look like the colors that I want. And if it does, then I proceed with it. Another light colored pencil. This is like, again, look at what's in my hand and look at what's on the paper. I'm not applying it lightly. This is the full potential of this pencil. That's not right, guys. It shouldn't be like that. Will it work? Will it create beautiful art? Yes, but it's not supposed to be like that. That's not professional. That's not high quality. That's an okay quality. 112 GS French gray. Now, is it a matter of just changing the sheath of the pencil? Maybe that's all they had to do. But the way that they're mismatched like that, what you get on the paper versus what you see in the box, is indeed, somebody said, disappointing, and I agree with that. I think it's misleading. It's not the way that it's meant to be. So for me, yeah, not so impressed with that. However, I am starting to get a feel for it, and I am making them work for my purposes. Again, I brought in that really dark purple, the purple that we all liked in the beginning of the show. Like the colors that I like here, the pencils that I like here, I really like. And understand, it's not a matter of I like certain colors versus I don't like certain colors. No, we're talking about the quality of the pencil and the potential of the pencil. That's why I do these reviews. Now, most people genuinely won't care. Full disclosure, I am a total snob when it comes to colored pencils. So also keep that in mind when you listen to these reviews. I have things that I like, and I have very, very high expectations. And for me to call something professional, especially live on a show, and especially for me to actually give this an Amazon review with my name on it, saying that it's professional, takes a lot. If you go to my Amazon channel, there is what do you call that? It's your shop setup, where I give reviews of products. There is a handful of products that are there, And among them are, of course, Prismacolor pencils, Black Widow pencils, white charcoal that I use. I think Castle Arts are there, and a couple of other brands that I've reviewed live on the show. And those brands, I give them 5 stars, and I write a little short review and show a picture of my art done with those pencils. And those, I stand by them 100%. I believe in them so much that I put my name on that review. I will not be doing that for this brand. I will keep using it. I will keep enjoying it, but no. They didn't pass the professional pencil brand test. I'm sorry. Let's see. That was French gray. What's our next color? Did anyone catch that? The yellow, it might be the same yellow that we used on the moon. So that's, I probably didn't call that out. And I'm just using it to brighten everything up a little bit. I want this to be really jump out at you, a wonderful and cheerful yellow and orange. If you haven't yet become my YouTube channel member, there's no better time to join than now. There's a big join button underneath the screen. Hit it, become a channel member. All of my channel members get this page for free. So if you want to color this page, it is already waiting for you in the channel members only post in the community section of my YouTube channel. Same yellow, I think. Yeah, I agree. It's the same yellow. And I like totally lost my other window that I had here on the screen. I was able to see something else, and now I am not. And I see that the number of people who are familiar with this brand and who actually use this brand is climbing. That is crazy. We have now 67% of people who haven't used this brand and 33% of people who have used this brand. I think it dwindled down to 23 and now it's back up to 33% of people who are watching this show live right now have indeed actually tried this brand. So if you are one of these people in the live chat right now, please give us a testimonial. Give us your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What was your experience? Did the light colors being so feeble not bother you? Or was using the YouTube tutorial that goes with these pencils useful for you? Let me know. No, it's canary. I was wrong. Canary. All right. This thing that I'm using right now, I'm actually going to play that back. And I want to talk about this nail polish thingy that I'm using. That's my official name for it. It's the nail polish thingy. This is another thing that somebody sent me a few months ago, almost a year ago. And by the way, if you guys want to send me stuff to review, there's an Amazon wish list in the video description of this video, and I'm going to put it in every video from now on. So all these cool things that I review on the show, the t-shirts that I wear on the show, this awesome pillow that somebody sent me that I'm now, I love ramen and anything ramen related. So thank you so much for sending me this. This pillow that's absolutely saving my back live on the show right now was sent to me by you guys. All these wonderful things and all the pencils that I wish to review in the future are in my Amazon wish list, and that Amazon wish list link is in the video description. So check it out if there's anything that you want me to review. If it's on the list, send it over right away. If it's something new, if it's something that's not on my wish list, and if you want to make sure that I don't already have it, shoot me a private message and we'll talk about it. You're welcome. Thank you. Well, this thing right here on the screen, this Copic nail polish thing, it was also sent to me by one of you guys, and it is it's in response to my eternal search for the perfect white gel pen. I used to use Posca white gel pens for like everything, for my little highlights. But I love that pillow. That pillow is so cool. And not only does it look cool, it's insanely comfortable. Like I'm so happy right now with in my very uncomfortable chair and very comfortable pillow. So this Copic nail polish thingy is interesting. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's wonderful for tiny little highlights, but it does also sometimes drip. Like no matter, it's literally like a nail polish in a little nail polish container, and it's white. And it has a really thin brush there, super, super thin. And in fact, the colorist who sent it to me because I needed to add extremely thin whiskers on a commission drawing of a cat. And she sent it to me and it did the job perfectly. I did like these literally hair thin whiskers on this commission painting drawing, and it served the job. And I have since been using this for my highlights. I use this a lot in courses like crystals and glow effects and gemstones. You will see me use this thing quite a bit, but I always talk about, again, like my reviews being 100% honest. I don't actually recommend this thing on Amazon either. I recommend it to people privately, but I won't put my name on the Amazon review of this thing because it's not 100% there. It does get the job done. It's very interesting. It's very easy to use, and I'm going to show you how I use it here. That's literally it. It's like these tiny little brush, and I use it specifically for these purposes. So if you need like little highlights on your eyes, or if you're doing gemstones and you just need like a little sparkle here and there, it's perfect. You cannot, however, paint with it or anything like that. It's for tiny, tiny little details. Hello, Gail. Welcome. I hope we're actually almost done. We're like on the final details, but I hope that when the show is over, you play it back and enjoy the show, especially the beginning when I give a huge shout out to my amazing, amazing make your own coloring page students who are already published artists. I'm just so proud. So that's the Copic nail polish thingy. Will this step work with a white gel pen? Even better, honestly. At this point, I'm just hooked on this nail polish thingy, and it's convenient. It's there on my desk. It lives there. It's very easy to use, a very quick result, but I'm still on a lookout for a nice white gel pens. In fact, in my Amazon wish list, I have one set of white gel pens that I think are cool. If somebody can get me those, that would be fine. But as far as white gel pens go, I'll take anything that you guys have to offer because I'm still looking for that perfect white gel pen. So if you came across anything that works for you, please send it over. I'll be glad to test drive it. New people who are coming in, we do have a question in the live chat. The question is, have you ever worked with this brand of pencils that I just showed on the screen? Starjoy pencils. And so far we have 37% now. 37% of people have used this brand. And if you have, let us know in the live chat how you feel about them, what your experience has been. In a nutshell, for those of you who are just coming in, I enjoyed this. I was pleasantly surprised that for the price that these pencils are, that they can produce such results. Ultimately, this came out very vibrant, very beautiful. The colors are amazing. The tail looks like it's glowing. Everything is exactly how I imagined it. I had a vision in my mind of what I wanted this coloring to look like when it's done. And I was able to match that vision with the tools provided. Ultimately, that's the test. Can you achieve your desired outcome? I did. Did I enjoy the process? Not as much as I was hoping to. The way that these pencils feel on paper didn't really pass the Lisa test. But again, I'm kind of a snob, and my standard, my high standard is Prismacolor pencils, which is a very high standard. So this definitely didn't match up to that. I would not call these professional pencils. I would not recommend them to any professional artist, but I would highly recommend them to casual hobbyists and colorists, mainly because of the amount of pencils that there are, the whole color variation that the box offers. The way that they sharpen is amazing, and it doesn't eat the pencils down too fast. These will last for a long time. They're fun to work with. They blend well. They layer well. Dark over light on these ones, not light over dark. But the light colors, they weren't so amazing. And the main thing for the mainstream colorist is, of course, the price. For $25, you are getting a bargain. I expected these to be a lot lower quality. Again, I apologize to anyone that I may have offended during the stream by being honest in my review. That is not my intention. I do not wish to cause anyone offense or harm. I simply want my audience to be educated and knowledgeable in the tools that are out there. And you don't have to follow my advice. My advice is simply the representation of my opinions and my experiences. So, always take it with a grain of salt. I wonder if they're like artist pencils. I don't know those ones. Sounds like you could send them to me and I'll do a review of them. I have not seen those. I have not tried those. In that Amazon wish list, I've put a lot of skin tone sets. That's mainly the direction that I'm heading in next. I want to do more reviews of skin tone sets. I teach multiple skin tone courses and I teach them in Black Widow pencils and Prismacolor pencils, mostly in Black Widow, I think, because those, like, I tend to do my portraits in in Black Widow pencils. So I think I teach most of the courses in there, but I do a lot of skin tone coloring. I do a lot of portrait drawing. So I would like to test out more brands that are specific, that have like actual skin tone sets, which generally I find to be quite limited and limiting. But some of them are quite extraordinary. For instance, the Black Widow skin tone coloring sets are my favorite of all time to this day. They're just amazing. Thank you so much for the honesty. We want the truth. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna wrap this up because obviously the show is over. I'm just gonna give you a couple of more announcements. We'll take some last minute questions and then I'm gonna let you guys go. So thank you for making the show amazing. Thank you for the super chats that were sent throughout the show. Foxdale, thanks you kindly for the super chat that he received. Artix pencils are more like Prisma and are nice to color with. Well, then I definitely want a set of those. They're like Prismacolor. Why don't I know about these? If they're like Prismacolor, I need a set. So whoever wants to send me that, I will not complain. People agree. Why am I in the dark? You guys should be running these shows. You know a lot. All right, let's see. I have some announcements. Again, congratulations to Michelle Wall, Stacy Bowling, and Michaela Schumann for publishing your very first coloring pages in your Etsy shops. Those of you who saw the beginning of the show, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, go see it again. The links to those shops are in the video description. Swing by, favor the shop, favor the listings, drop a note to the artist, purchase one of their pages. Like, these are new up and coming artists that have my stamp of approval. Help them grow. It's really hard to get started in this industry of making adult coloring pages. Let's see. Thank you for the nice stream and all the great work. Yes, hello. Udemy courses. I have all of the courses that I've ever taught now available on Udemy. The link to that is in the video description. There is a promo code for the How to Make Your Own Coloring page on my website. That's going to be $12.99 this entire month. People who are taking my Udemy courses, please, please, please take a moment to leave that review. I know that Udemy asks you like every week, leave a review. You can always change it. Even if you're not done with the course yet, just drop me that star rating and drop a line saying how much you're enjoying it or not enjoying it or whatever. You can always change that rating at the end of the course. The problem is a lot of people don't make it all the way till the end and then they never rate the course, but the ratings really help me. So please do drop a rating and say a few words so that the other students know what to expect. And guys, if you're on Udemy, you have a mailbox. You can receive messages from me directly and you can send them to me directly. Please check those. There are some students on Udemy that I've been trying to reach for weeks. Check your mail. You have it. What else? There's an Etsy sale going on in my shop right now. It's going to be going on for a week. I don't know when you're watching the rerun of this, but if you're watching it within the first week of publication, probably the sale is still going on. It's 30% off everything. So swing by and check it out. If you're watching it sometime far, far into the future, there may be another sale running right now. So swing by and check it out anyway. Thank you. Thank you kindly. And let's see, one final announcement. Twitch. every Saturday, pretty much all day, Tech and I stream gaming on Twitch, and it has been so much fun. We just started streaming Fallout 76. We were streaming all of last Saturday, and so many of you came to the stream. It was so much fun. We were chatting, and the game is kind of like you walk around a lot, and it's a big open universe, so it's not a lot of shooting and loudness. So it's actually just like us hanging out and chatting. So if you enjoy this, if you enjoy just chatting and more personal life stuff and less art, then swing by Twitch and say hello and we'll chat. Last time we were talking about our life in Chile and survivalism and self-defense and cooking and just crazy, crazy fun stuff. So the link to that is, of course, in the video description. We stream every Saturday, so come by and say hello. Yeah, Zia, yes. We will see you on Saturday. I've been playing and building up my character all week, so we'll probably take turns playing on Saturday. Both of us will be online, and we have some news for you. We figured some things out that we were trying to work out, so we'll talk about it on Saturday. Glad I could make it today. Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna let you go now. Remember to grab this page on Etsy or Patreon or your membership or whatever. It's all over the place. And post your colorings. I'd love to see how you complete this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.